Welcome to 561 Music. My name's Ben.
And I'm Hector.
How's it going, Hector?
It is going fantastic. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm good. I just came from my father-in-law's birthday. That was good fun. Yeah,
good stuff. A lot of birthdays this week, huh?
I guess so.
Was it your wife's birthday just recently?
Yeah, it was. And it's your wife's birthday yesterday,
was
right?
Yesterday, yeah.
Good stuff. We're going to have a party for down at O'Shea's.
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good fun.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that, man.
So
I don't know, man. It's feeling like we're settling into this thing now. 11 episodes.
11 episodes,
Good
man.
fun.
It's no looking back now. We are in it. It is legit, and I quit. So it's fine.
Well, this week we have Zack and Christina from Sandman Sleeps. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Hey,
We're really happy to be here.
yeah.
It's really nice to have you. It's super nice to have you. I've been sort of watching your progress of late over the past sort of year or so online. It's been really fun to watch. You guys in the studio and just seemingly there seems to be a lot of energy coming out of what you guys are doing at the moment. There's a lot of social media presence.
Yeah,
it's been great.
Thank you, Tequila.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Tequila.
Our sponsor this week is
our sponsor this week for the band and the show is just Tequila. So
Yeah.
I think that was a big motivation for working together. Was
Tequila.
all of us could just split a bottle. No, I'm just joking. No, it's been a fun year.
Yeah, man.
I couldn't think of a better group of people to be in lockdown with.
Yeah, that's
Me
great.
too.
Doing the
I
whole,
know.
we couldn't really see too many people, so
Yeah, I really enjoyed.
we chose wisely.
I really sort of got a little bit of sort of I don't know what the word is, solace out of reading some of your posts over the thing, because it turns out you and I have very similar political points of view.
Yeah.
So-
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. Sometimes when I needed a little bit of a boost, it was nice to see that other people were feeling the same way I was about what was going on around us.
This whole thing, man, what a year.
I know.
Jesus.
I know. The thing is, I'm not sure if we even want to get into it, but it's
I do.
Oh, yeah. It's been a lot, though. I tell you what, it's been a lot, and it's nice to know that there's a few sort of sane people out there. But so why don't we jump right into the questions? I've got just some sort of general questions to try and weed out of you some of the motivations behind the reasons you make music and stuff. And the first one is, why don't we start with Christina? Why did you start playing music?
Oh my
How
God.
did that happen?
It's a loaded question.
Yeah. So.
tequila again, right? No.
Yeah.
You're a young starter.
That always helps, right? No. So my sister and I play in the band Sandman Sleeps, along with Zack and Karsten, and so my sister and I started playing music together, I would say about, I don't know, over 10 years ago. And we grew up in a musical family, so it was kind of like always there. So that's kind of like what, I don't know, it was always like kind of easy to just like be immersed in that.
Yeah.
And, in that environment. I've been writing songs for a long time.
Yeah.
For, that amount plus, and then Alex and I have written songs together. Us four as a band have also like begun to write songs together more recently too. So I mean, I don't know. It's just what started playing music. Like I guess just like everything kind of very easily fell into place, very organically. It was very organic.
Did you do any kind of formal music stuff when you were young? Did you in choirs or anything like that?
I was in choir.
Yeah.
I was in choir,
Really?
and then
I didn't even know that.
yeah,
This is a great show.
Yeah, right.
Learning about your bandmates.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was in choir.
Yeah, I did that stuff too.
Yeah.
Did you have any kind of like religious stuff happening when you were young? Did you have to go to church or anything like that?
We had to, but
Yeah.
no,
that was
but
what
no,
it wasn't me. But
That
in a weird
sucks.
way, it was good music-wise because it got
Yeah.
me singing a lot.
Yeah, no, I always liked. It's kind of funny because I liked the hymnals,
Yeah.
even though I wasn't particularly religious. Like
Yeah.
none of us were, but even my family, I don't think anybody was. But
Right.
but we still had to go, and I
Yeah.
still like enjoyed singing like hymns and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was talking
But,
we were
yeah.
talking to Josh Miles last week, and he was talking about how that was really where he kind of his first experience of music, and it was the same with me, really. If I'm honest, his like just the singing in church when I was a wee lad.
Yeah.
And that definitely taught me how to like sing in harmony and stuff like that. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're saying you said you come from a musical family.
Yeah. So our parents both play, and they used to play in bands,
Okay.
and so
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
always music, like musical instruments
Very
around
cool.
and stuff. So
What was
Very
the
cool.
first instrument you started playing?
It was both of us piano.
Right, me too.
My sister and I, both
Yeah.
piano, and then I moved to guitar, and my sister moved to bass.
Right.
So
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, with me it was my brother played drums and I played guitar. So yeah, like I was saying to you before we started, yeah, we've been in a band our whole lives as well. Like
Yeah.
we still occasionally over the quarantine we did some stuff together. It was a lot
That's
of fun.
cool.
Yeah, we recorded a song. Ended up getting on the BBC. It was unbelievable. We couldn't
Really?
believe- Yeah, we were so
Oh, yeah.
happy.
Wow, that's great.
It was the best thing ever. They have
That's
this
awesome.
they have this sort of introducing thing, like I can't remember what it's called, but it's like BBC introducing or something. We got on that with the song that me, my brother, and his wife made. That was awesome.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you get into music at the beginning there, Zach?
I think I had just moved up to Port St. Lucie, and I was a kid, and I wasn't good at anything at the time, I don't think, and I always wanted to play guitar, so a lot of people were playing guitar, and I went to like a local show, like one of those all ages, when I was like I think like 12 or 13,
Yeah.
and I was just like, holy shit, I got to figure out how to do what those guys are doing.
Right. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think I just wanted to be the cool guy.
Sure. I can relate to that. I was pretty terrible at sport, and I definitely sort of was like, okay, how am I going to make girls like me? Ah, okay, well, then
Yeah,
I
I think well, yeah, I would say that's definitely motivation.
That's usually the motivation for most guys.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what I write about.
That's why I picked up a That's why I picked up a saxophone, man. Come on.
Bunch of crap.
No, like so in terms of instruments, like what do you play? I know you play guitar.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I lived up in Buffalo, New York for a little bit after high school, and kind of just didn't have any interest in the guitar while I was there. But I had a lot of interest in playing drums.
Oh.
So I just got myself an electric kit, and they have basements up there, so I put it down there, and I think I played on that for like a year and a half, and then sold it when I left, and when I came back, there was just always a drum set around. So that was always like a fun thing to play, but I don't think I ever got really good at it. I think actually originally in this band.
I was saying that sounds like how
Yeah.
our introduction was.
Yeah. I
essentially.
was like, can I play drums for your band?
Yeah.
And
that's
So we thought, when I first met Zach, I thought he was a drummer.
yeah, I'm not.
I had no idea he played in Gravel Kings. And
No,
all
yeah.
those songs.
Did you see him play drums, or you just think he looks like a drummer?
I said I wanted to play drums.
Okay.
So she assumed I was good at it, I think.
Yeah. I thought, And then he played drums, and I was like,
Maybe you should try guitar.
Yeah. No, I mean, it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
it wasn't terrible, but I'm just like,
we played for like maybe
Yeah.
3 minutes with me on
Yeah.
drums, and I was like, I'm gonna get my guitar stuff out.
yeah.
She's
her
like,
and her sister came over to my
you're the
house.
guitarist.
He
Okay.
plays the guitar fucking incredible.
Yeah.
But then, no.
Sure.
So yeah,
Yeah, remember when we did that? We did like me, you, and Bryce.
Oh,
did that
yeah.
singer-songwriter thing.
a Terra Firmata.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was a lot of fun.
That's really. I had seen you playing it in like Das years ago,
wow.
with like a.
Hey, I borrowed your guitar that night.
Oh, that's right.
I
That's
did.
right.
That was my
yeah.
first gig outside of Port St. Lucie as like a solo 3-hour gig guy.
Really.
And I
Interesting.
fucking forgot my guitar, and I was like,
No.
So I saw you were playing at the amphitheater down the street.
Yeah, that's it.
And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
walk up and I'm like, hey, so, can I get your guitar? Yeah, I just need to borrow a guitar. That thing is awesome.
Yeah. Unfortunately, someone stole it out of my car.
Fuck.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
It was Zach.
It was definitely me.
He liked it.
Yeah, I liked it so much.
So it was in like a gated community. It was like a couple of days before Christmas, and I was asleep in a room that like from here, like from like me to you. The car was just like right outside the window. Someone stole a bunch of stuff out of the car. I can't believe
Jesus.
it. It was the worst.
Look at it this way. Some kid probably had a really good Christmas.
Yeah, there you go. I hope so.
I'm just joking. That's terrible. And fuck that kid.
Absolutely. No, it was that carbon fiber one, right? The black one.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I've got like a.
Because you can just leave those in the car overnight.
Yeah.
Or all day in the hot sun, and it
Yeah.
doesn't fuck up the guitar at all.
Yeah, exactly. I've got a like a little parlor guitar now, and I mean, the amount that we play out and the amount it ends up being in the car just because.
I was just going to say, you leave that one in the car all the time, too.
I take it out as much as I can. It's out right now, but occasionally it does stay in there overnight, and it's not good for it. Not at all. No.
I leave the upright bass in the car all the time. Hell, it's in the car now.
So it's like this.
I leave James's banjo in the car.
Pretty much.
If
I bitch about intonation all the time, and then I wonder why, right?
If James is going to leave his banjo in my car, then it's staying in the car. I'm not going to move it in and out of my house for him as well.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, that's getting into some gripes that we don't need to.
We'll edit that out later.
So, in terms of music and stuff, do you have any sort of significant early musical influences?
Talking Heads, definitely.
Cool.
Yeah, I grew up listening to Talking Heads,
Yeah,
and
what kind of stuff did your parents play to you in the car on the way to school and stuff like that?
Talking Heads.
Talking Heads.
What else was that? It was a lot of 80s stuff.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd,
Right.
and then also the Beatles.
Yeah.
Um,
My mum used to just hammer Paul Simon's Graceland and Eurythmics. It was like
that's
those-
good stuff.
Yeah.
It's fun, Dad.
Yeah. It was those two. What about you, Zach?
My parents introduced me, obviously, to classic rock. Excuse me. There it goes. That beer. They just listened. They listened to a lot of classic rock, so they kind of introduced me to Tom Petty. My dad was a big Alice Cooper fan, or still is.
Oh, cool.
Still a bit. We actually saw Tom Petty together on his last tour.
Man, that's
I
awesome.
thought that it's totally sucked that Tom Petty died, but I thought it was cool that me and my dad got to go see Tom Petty on his last tour. I was
Very
like,
meaningful.
man, that was awesome. And I think
Yeah.
it was the first real concert me and him went to, so it was pretty cool. But it was just always classic rock with them, and then I think I listened to I obviously listened to like a lot of metal. When I was in middle school, like new metal, I was like a big Korn, Marilyn Manson, Slipknot fan, Deftones, definitely. Yeah. And then I moved and just met a new group of kids, and then it was punk rock for a while. And yeah.
I notice I don't know if it's directly or just by chance, but like with Gravel Kings, I noticed that it feels like when I listen to the Gravel Kings that you and I had some of the similar influences. Like, do you like Frank Turner?
I don't know who that is.
That's so interesting.
So that's a
so
no.
mad. So basically, after this, you got to go and listen to some Frank Turner, and you'll be like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I guess my music does kind of sound like that."
That's not the first time I've heard, I've definitely heard his name before.
Yeah.
I feel like
it's actually really cool
Okay.
that you both ended up at the same spot, kind of like, and you've never heard him, because there's quite a lot of similarities. Is it just in the phrasing and stuff like that?
Okay.
Yeah, and also obviously the instrumentation, because he's one of those 10 years ago folk punk guys, and it's that kind of sound.
I think in my high school years, I met a different group of kids, and I got really into just the underground indie rock stuff, and
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's when I actually turned into a music snob for the first time, and I think to this day I don't really listen to any new bands.
Right.
I just kind of got stuck in those same bands, and every time I hear they're doing a reunion tour, I'm like, oh, cool, I can go to a show.
Yeah, there
That's
you
me,
go.
man.
Yeah.
I'm stuck in the '80s, and any '80s band that comes back out, and and I'm just weird crap, Missing Persons and stuff like that. They'll do the Kravis Center will have an '80s night, and it's Blondie and Missing Persons, and they're all coming out with their canes and walkers and whatever. And I'm like, yeah, '80s.
Yeah.
What's going on with Gravel Kings these days?
We all had some projects in the works, I think, right before COVID.
Right.
I think we played a show. Maybe it was a huge festival 2 weeks before COVID.
You guys have got a lot of listeners and stuff. What's the sort of I'm a little embarrassing that I just don't know this, but when you guys play, do you draw pretty decently?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like someone's damn, they've got 8,000 listeners and stuff like that.
No, it's crazy. So the shows and I think at this point we're just kind of doing it for fun. I know we did a show at Terra Firmata, and I think I just talked to the owner. I'm like, just give us $400.
Right.
Just let everyone in for free, and then we'll just tell everybody, let's do it in the middle of the day on a Sunday so everyone can come.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think that was one of the last really cool shows, aside from that festival before COVID, that we played. But we started just kind of doing the shows that we wanted to do.
Yeah.
We've never been one of those bands that can play 3 hours. We don't even like playing more than an hour.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think that made a lot of venues really upset.
Right.
Because they wanted to get that full 3 hours of that crowd that we could pull.
Yeah.
And
it's
What
a lot
band
to be.
plays 3 hours though?
Well, awesome.
That's
Well,
like
well, you guys
like,
play
We
through,
do.
but I mean, it's,
Well, okay, you
that's
guys.
more of like
but we play a whole load of songs that, like, you know, if I never played a couple of them again, it would be fine. You know.
yeah. But you guys are also
Awesome, though.
professionally trying to entertain people for 3 hours on almost a daily basis.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's your
Yeah.
profession.
It's a different thing, and it's one of these things where, you know, I always struggle with the kind of that thing of, you know, does it just completely stifle creativity? Does it make the band worse? And what I was going to say about what you were saying about you were never a 3-hour band, maybe that's a good thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like maybe actually it kept what's good about it and stopped it from diluting, you know?
I think at a certain point, I wanted to be a 3-hour band because I saw the potential of us just making more money and turning it more into a business. But me and Joey, who I had grown up with, he played the banjo and the guitar and kind of just co-wrote all the songs with me. We both came from that punk rock background where we were usually like, you know, it's a 20-minute set and then we're out of here.
Yeah.
And then the next band goes on and then it's like $5 to get in. There's like 6 bands.
Yeah.
And everybody sees a different band every 20 minutes. And I've always liked that. I think that's like...
You paid $15 at
Yeah,
the end
you
of the
paid-
night.
yeah, yeah.
But you owe the bar 100, so
Yeah. Like, and so like with Gravel Kings, I don't know. The 3-hour thing, I think, pissed off a lot of venues because they wanted us to come play. And I'm like, well, we'll just find an opener and then we'll do like an hour and a half. And that's pushing it.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to just rock the fuck out for like 40 minutes
Yeah.
at the most and go home.
That was our struggle with the Nirvana tribute
Yeah.
when we first met you at Copper Blues. We were doing 3-hour shows because nobody wanted us as just a tribute. Even though that's all we did for the night, we still just played Nirvana. But
The longest gig Nirvana's ever
it
played.
really was. I mean, we would do like, you remember, we did like the acoustic show as a set, and then we did whatever other show as a set and something else as a set. But it was all Nirvana, and it was. I mean, 3 hours was really stretching it for us. I mean, we're taking like mega breaks and like spacing out the songs and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it was a big deal. And it wasn't until that first Kelsey show when you booked us there that, we went in, we got a take at the door, and we made really hella good money that night. And it was like,
Holy shit, I treated it as a Nirvana show.
yeah.
I mean,
and
if Nirvana
we
would
actually
have played that show, that's how we would have broken down the numbers.
Well, and we actually played 90 minutes that night, which eventually became like a long show for us. We were typically getting like an opener and playing like a 45 to 60-minute set tops and just rocking the hell out of it and then just done.
Yeah.
But that was our struggle. I mean, everybody always wanted us like, hey, 3 hours, sometimes even 4 hours. And we're like, it's just not going to happen.
No, yeah. And I just, I mean, it's a little different with Sandman Sleeps because we can go.
Oh, really? Awesome.
I feel like we can go.
Well, we have a lot of songs.
We have a lot. Well, yeah. This chick here is just like
Lot of
keeps
all-
every
all
5
original,
seconds.
or?
I'm never going to bring an idea to this band.
Yes, you can. It's just
'Cause
gonna get.
I'm just
it's
like,
good.
hey, I have a
It's
song. She's
good.
like, well, I have 20 songs that I
That's
wrote
not
last
the dynamic,
week.
but
No.
I never.
No, I know.
But no.
I'm sure on the next album we'll get one in. I'm
course.
just fucking with you.
And what a wonderful thing to be so creative and
She's
prolific.
changing
I'm
the
jealous
name
of.
to Zack Sleeps.
Well, it's been nice because I felt like I needed. I was having some writer's block right before I met Christina, and now I'm starting to kind of come out of my shell again because I've kind of, I see you writing songs, and I'm just like, all right, I'm not under pressure to write anything.
Yeah.
And with COVID, like there's
Yeah.
no. All I had to do was write along to what you and Alex had, and that was easy and it was comfortable and it was relaxing for me.
So how did you guys meet? Like, did you see them plan a show, or did mutual friends, or?
They showed up with Four Locos to an open mic night.
Oh,
We
there you
sounded
go.
terrible.
It was
I'm
so
surprised
good.
he wanted to play with us.
I had a blast.
I
was so
really was
happy.
surprised. No, it was funny.
No,
Yeah, we Alex and I were trying to get immersed in the crowd here because we had moved from New York, and we're from here though. Like we're from like I don't know, like Jupiter Palm Beach Gardens originally, but like we moved back here, and we were playing at was it Hop Life? It was Hop Life, and you were hosting the open mic.
Yeah.
And yeah, you were just like what was that song? All the organs in my city. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you liked that lyric? That wasn't weird for you?
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that lyric.
That's great.
I'm like, he's like, yeah, I play drums. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, we need a
No, I
drummer.
didn't say I play drums. I said,
Yes.
can I play drums for
Yes.
you?
Yeah, no, it was
Big
good.
difference.
It worked out great because
Yeah.
I mean, I was always trying to figure out. Zack writes incredible songs, you know, sings amazing, and just like this is an amazing singer songwriter here. I'm like, why do you want to play with us? You know what I mean? That's like what I always
didn't have
wondered.
shit going on, man.
No, but I love how you bring that into the band though too. Like you
Yeah.
bring in like these like melodies that make the songs complete. You sing like we sing together, and
Oh, thank
on the next album, I like it's funny. So the salute. No, the
Oh, he's blushing. Now.
this album is mostly songs that I would say started from 2010 to now.
Right.
So I mean, it's kind of like getting out the stuff that you need to like purge and get out.
Yeah.
And then like so, I feel like as a band, we're gonna start the next album as well, and just like see what happens. I'm really excited for that. Really,
So
too.
nice to have so much stuff to. It's funny, like Killbillies was the first incarnation with Killbillies was with this guy Micah Scott, and we had you know so we got this back catalogue, and you know we've been going like Hector's been in it a year, and
Yeah.
we're still kind of learning on the old
Yeah.
songs. There's a
It's
lot of them, you know.
Yeah.
But we're also writing new ones as well. And just like you were saying, is that like, you know, sometimes it just takes something like a little thing to kind of get your juices flowing again. And Hector's been sending me little music ideas, and I've got all this like backlog of lyrics on my phone, and so I've just been kind of like,
Yeah.
that's really helped me to kind of get back on the horse with writing for sure.
Yeah.
Just, you know, it's like sometimes it could be anything, can't it? It could be like just getting a new guitar or just you know, playing music with a new person, and then it just reopens the thing. Anyway, that's how it is for me, you know.
Yeah.
I can get stuck in ruts with it and just not want to do it, you know. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Just kind of and I know that when I'm on my own, it's almost like you know, if a tree falls in the woods, doesn't make any noise. It's almost like I almost like function in company like a million times better than I do when I'm on my own. You know, I know some
Same.
people can be very productive when they're on their own. That's not me, you know, at all.
No, I'm not productive on my own. To a certain extent, like there'll be times when I've almost written an entire song, but I mean it's been a while since I feel like I felt that. I just recently started picking up the guitar and writing my own things for myself, and it feels good to do that again. But with Gravel Kings, it was I think I felt under pressure too, and I think we have like a whole album that we didn't finish, and like we recorded nearly everything,
Right.
and just never put it out.
Gotcha.
It's kind of weird. It was one of those things, and I think we still got the files hidden away somewhere, but I know I had like the original, all the tracking, and I think I just hit delete,
Oh, wow.
almost on purpose.
Yeah.
We still had like the ideas all down, but I don't know. It was a weird writing rut, and I feel like it would have been easier to just hit delete, and if it was really that good, I would remember it.
Yeah.
So I was trying a lot of weird shit in terms
Right.
of writing, and but prior to COVID, they went off and they had these side projects. I know Joey and Doug, they're actually doing this really cool instrumental metal band
Cool.
with our friend Justin. I'm in the process of recording a music video for them right now, and that came out
cool.
really good. Aaron, he's been dealing and trading pedals online like a madman. He got
Wow.
really into collecting guitar gear, and he's helped me and kind of like us just kind of find some really cool gear
Neat.
that we were looking for. I just recently got this Gibson Corvus.
Yeah, that's crazy. I saw that like online.
Yeah,
That's
he
awesome.
found that one in Japan, and I mean he didn't go there, but
Yeah.
he found somebody that was selling it there, and they
Wandering
shipped
through
it
the
over.
woods of
Yeah,
Mount Fuji.
Yeah, exactly.
He actually launched like an online store or something at one point, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he's still doing it.
Yeah,
Ghost
nice.
Town Music.
Yeah.
But so he kind of became obsessed with that, and then
Is that when you post like gear photos? Is that stuff from his like store? Is that what that sometimes?
He has just an online store,
Okay.
and that's
sometimes
his own
I'll see
personal
stuff
stash.
come up on and it's just a picture of some gear. I think I asked you about it one time, and you were like, "Oh no, my mate just sells gear," and sometimes I put
No, that's kind of where I get everything from. If I have a pedal, I just go to him first because usually he's going to get it for $20 to $50 cheaper.
Yeah,
and,
cool.
I don't know. I usually get something thrown in with that. Like, also, if you're looking for this, then I'm just like, so, like, yeah, I end up spending more money because he turns me on to something else. But for this band, I was like, I can have all the pedals.
Yeah.
Like, this is weird shit that we're playing. So I just keep trying to find weird shit now.
So we're kind of talking about it already, but do you have any kind of specific writing process that you use? Or is it just kind of come out?
I feel like I just kind of a couple different ones. I'd say for the most part, I like to sit down with usually an acoustic guitar. It starts off with, and then start off with chord and melody first,
Right.
following each other. But words would come last.
Right.
Usually, words would be formed off of the sound of the melody.
Sure.
I'm trying something different lately, though, where I'm trying to put more poetry to the melody now.
It is, those are the two sort of different approaches to it that are probably the most significant kind of divides of the thing. When I was in a band in the UK called Sonic Boom 6, the other guy used to write. He'd have his lyrics. There's something he really burningly wanted to say.
Yeah.
And he'd figure out a way of shoehorning it into a melody.
Right.
And
yeah.
But I'm like the opposite. I'm kind of like the way you were talking about, where it's the melody sounds like the words almost already.
Yeah. It's
And
almost like the sound of it is more important sometimes than the actual words.
Yeah, exactly. And I found that when me and him wrote together,
Yeah.
we kind of ended up with a nice happy medium,
Nice.
It actually meant something like real, but also the words fit in there properly rather than kind of, just trying to shoehorn these weird words into the kind of the end of sentences and stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. That's so cool. I've never really been able to co-write with words because I feel like I feel like it's really it's a special bond.
Yeah.
It's really to find with somebody.
It
really,
is, it is, and it was a huge decision to leave that band and and shout out to Barney if he's listening to this. But it was, that was like 10 years of my life there before I moved here.
Yeah.
It was with a punk rock band as well. That's why, like, when I listened to that Gravel Kings, my head around the time you were doing 2013, 2014 was like right there, where that kind of stuff is. Like, and I listen to it and I'm like, I can really relate to kind of there was this big sort of movement, wasn't there? It was like everything was getting really folky for a bit there, and then it just kind of went poof, it just went away.
Yeah, we definitely felt like we were on like a sort of a bandwagon, and I think that contributed to somewhat of its success.
Yeah. It definitely helped with Killbillies too.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that's like a whole movement now. I think there's just a lot of people out there that are just like obsessed. They have to hear a banjo. And I know at one point we stopped bringing the banjo out, and Joey he's just like, I'm going to just fucking play guitar on every song tonight. I'm like, all right, whatever you want to do, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a fuck. And he would do that, but we'd start getting pissed off. Like old dudes that would come up and like, I fucking drove here from fucking Naples, Florida. I came out here to hear some fucking banjo, and this guy's playing a fucking Telecaster like some pussy. And I'm just like, hey man, that's a really nice Telecaster. Yeah. Don't push him.
The banjo is like, it's kind of sort of like a bit of a fetish instrument. Like same thing with
I'd say
same thing with the stand-up.
With the upright, we've had people where we've shown up, and I just have an acoustic bass, and they're like, they get pissed, like, where's the upright? I'm like, I just didn't bring it today. Like, but that's why we hired you. Like, you didn't hire us because you like the music. You hired us because I had an upright bass.
Yeah, no,
honestly,
it becomes more of an image thing.
It is,
and I'm just like, it's not. It was never an image thing.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point, I feel like I got kind of caught up in that because the folk thing, like you said, that was taking off, and I was kind of freaking out because I knew our songs were pretty sweet.
Yeah, I was listening to them today. They sound great.
I mean, they were pop rock songs
for sure.
Indie pop songs. Like the Weaker Thens is what inspired me a lot to write them. And they started off as a punk band, a pop punk band, and they moved over to like folky stuff towards the end. And that's kind of what inspired me to do Gravel Kings and take it in that direction. Plus, also, Joey just called me. He's like, hey, I got a banjo, so I don't know what you're up to. And I'm just like, what the all right.
Let's do it.
I had a couple songs written, and, you know, they were originally like this indie pop, rocky kind of thing, and I just changed the rhythm, and he had the banjo, and Gravel Kings was the thing.
Well, that's where I'm kind of really honestly at with my songwriting anyway. It's kind of poppy punk songs that have a banjo on. You know, 'cause I can't really pull out. I'm not American, so I don't sound like a country guy. You know?
Hey, that's okay. The biggest folk band right now is Mumford & Sons, and I don't think they're from here either.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Weirdly enough, I've got two funny things to say about them. One is my mate Ollie works for one of the Mumford & Sons in a club that he owns in London.
He works for A Sun?
Yeah. And the other thing is that the singer is American, but I think he has English family. He moved to England.
Oh, okay.
The rest of them are all English, and he's American.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm not sure exactly what the deal is, but anyway, like he lived in England for a long time anyway. But yeah, I really like them, and when they came out, they definitely, we've made a lot of money off their songs. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah,
and we rode that
Mumford
wave. We had some. I don't know. It's weird. Like we played the songs here at home. It felt cool. We'd go down to like Fort Lauderdale. West Palm was also
I know what you
Orlando was like Gainesville was like, oh, this is getting better.
Yeah.
Because there's more backwoods people there.
Yeah.
And then we'd get up to Georgia and Nashville and all that, and people were like, this is great!
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, all right.
There is some truth in the further north you get, the more
southern it gets
Yeah.
somehow.
It's the dumbest thing. I always say that I have to go north to get to the south, and it's the dumbest thing.
It's absolutely true. Someone I know wrote a song called "South of the South" about round here. But you know, there's nowhere for Killbillies to play in Miami. Not even the only place that like I've ever played in Miami. I played one really random like theme bar with Killbillies one time somewhere downtown, but we're not really like a Churchill's band either, so there's just not really anywhere for us to play down there. But we get down to Fort Lauderdale there. I played the Poorhouse a gazillion times, and that place that's run by Rockabilly's, whatever it's called. There's like there's some place that we used to play that was like a rockabilly place. I don't know. Like, I guess our sort of catchment area is like Lauderdale to Vero. You know,
Vero and Fort Pierce. People love folk there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's crazy. I'll just see these really old guys coming out. They're retired and they got their flip flops on and their fucking Dead shirt on, and they're just like ready to go. Like, where's that? I'm just like, why do you like us? Why do you like me? Why do you want to have anything to do with me? We don't have similar music tastes at all, but somehow you like my band. And I think that's always been the funniest thing about Gravel Kings is I don't have anything in common with anybody that listens to us.
Well, I can
nearly
relate
anybody.
I mean,
we probably have a lot in common, but
the
older guys, I'm just like.
Right.
What? And they're like, have you ever heard of this? I'm like, no. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
People will ask us for requests all the time, and it's usually something I don't know. I always immediately just look at Ben, and then I have to wait for Ben to say yes or no. I have no idea what they're asking about.
Yeah, it's been quite a steep learning curve for you, Hector, hasn't it? Because you didn't really listen to this kind of music at all before.
I still don't listen to this guy. It is what it is. For sure.
I know what you mean about the kind of contradiction with that. Like, there's definitely, folks that come to listen to Killbillies who, in day-to-day life, wouldn't have anything else in common with. The other thing that's a weird contradiction with Killbillies is we play a lot of Irish music, and I'm not Irish.
See, I thought you were for the longest time, and now I know you're just full of shit.
Well, what's going on with that is I got a bunch of Irish family, and my uncle, throughout my entire sort of upbringing, he's a folk musician, and it just informed my listening since I was little. And so I just got into it when I was young. Then when I came here, do you remember that guy Keith Ahern?
That sounds really familiar.
He was in a band called the Lahinch Mob. Remember those guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, him and this Micah Scott, who still plays around here, and me started Killbillies. And Keith Ahern there's none more Irish than Keith Ahern.
Yeah.
But anyway, he left because I ended up sort of falling out a little bit. I can't remember exactly what happened, but he ended up leaving, and we carried it on. And by that point, I we had all this Irish material, and I just started loving it. And I knew 3/4 of the songs already just from growing up, and
it's really the other side of folk. I think like the Southern America is the one side of the coin, and
yeah,
I think Irish folk is kind of the other side when it comes to that genre.
Yeah, totally. And there is a load of English folk music too. It's just not as kind of well known. It's not like we don't have it. It's just not well famous like Irish folk is. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we we play some English folk stuff too, and a lot of the ones that are in the Irish canon are actually English folk songs, like "Dirty Old Town" is written about Manchester.
Yeah.
People think it's like about Dublin or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, I digress.
Speaking of Ireland, can I borrow your knife again? I need
borrow
another
my
beer.
knife.
So
I wish we were sponsored by. If Swiss Army Knives want to sponsor the podcast,
yeah. Thank you.
Be
I've had
pretty
to
sweet.
kind of keep going after this
What was
whole
it? The
night.
Pogues.
Yeah.
Or if
Dirty
Leatherman
Old
wants to
Town.
sponsor us, and we'll stop using the Swiss Army.
yeah. That's great. So, Christina, do you still practice? Do you practice much at home?
This girl.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah,
she
that's
does
awesome.
is practice.
Yeah, cool. That's
Yeah.
what I love to hear.
We play a lot of duo gigs, my sister and I, under Chris
Yeah.
and Alex, and we play a lot of 80s covers.
Right.
Mostly
So
80s and
You're doing
original
like
music.
the 3 hours and the 3.
Yeah,
4
that's
hours.
our 3-4 hour gigs.
Yeah. Cool.
For money.
Yeah. People
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
the 80s these days. Like
Yeah,
right now,
I love
the
80s.
As soon as you play
Yeah.
anything from the 80s, people go bananas. It works real
Yeah,
good.
it's been working real nice.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
even if they don't know the song, it's been
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
That's cool. Is it?
Yeah.
And what's the instrumentation with that? Like, is it guitar and bass?
Yeah, just guitar
Yeah.
and bass and vocals. Yep.
You do anything like percussion related, or do you have like a tambourine going or anything?
Not really. No. Yeah.
I don't know why, but I always felt compelled to kind of introduce some kind of percussion element to it. I don't know whether it's because when we first started Killbillies, right? There was obviously Ben Prestige was a thing, and
Still is.
and he's incredible. I reached out to him. I'm trying to get him on here. So hopefully he'll get back to me at some point. But because he's definitely like a hero of mine. I love his music and what he does, and his brother too. Both great. And Micah had been messing around with different ways to attach drums to foot pedals and stuff.
It's always that's such an interesting thing. Because when I originally started doing the solo gigs, I wanted to do the drums so bad at the same time because I thought I was being boring by just playing the guitar by myself.
Yeah.
And I didn't have looper pedals, and I didn't even know what that shit was. I was literally just bringing a speaker, a guitar, and a cable and a mic.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of it.
Yeah.
And then I went and I just straight up asked Ben Prestige. I'm like, what the fuck you got going on down there?
Yeah.
And then he's just going. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I'll go try that.
Yeah.
And I did. And honestly, it's just like whatever you can make sound good with your sound system and
Yeah.
Yep.
and have fun with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I just kind of fell down that rabbit hole too. We've had so many different incarnations of foot drums over the years at this point, but I ended up kind of just going the easy route. For the last couple of years, I just bought like a set that were designed for it. But when we started doing it, that didn't exist. It wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
I guess it's over the last sort of 10 or so years, it's become increasingly popularized, and now you can just buy sets that are like that.
The ones that you buy are shitty. I feel
the
like
one
I don't
I've
know.
currently got,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty good. It's like a little snare drum on a beater, and the snare's nice.
You've had that
quality
one for a
snare.
while.
Yeah, but the one I'm using right now, I bought it as a set. It was the kick, that real thin kick, which I go back and forth with that. Sometimes I kind of miss. We used to have a real deep one. Sometimes,
Okay, yeah.
I kind of miss that deep one sometimes, but it's super portable. It's like this thick.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, like, I don't think they made them when I was like they made some version of something when I first started doing the.
Do you remember it was called the Jungle Jig, and it was for like having.
I think it was something like that.
Yeah, it was for having like if you were like I guess like a jungle player or like a samba player, you could have like an extra little bass drum with that hit with the beater. That's what it's for. But now there's like companies that just make feet drums.
I'm a fan of the snare drum on the milk carton.
Yeah, that's. I remember when I
made sure that fucker wasn't going anywhere, and it took me like gig after gig. I was like, hold on, I need like 20 minutes. I had like tools. I was bringing a toolbox with me to these fucking gigs because like I couldn't just. It took me months to figure out how to get this fucker to just stay there and not break it every night. Yeah. Like go right through the head, and then after a while, I think I ended with a rag tied around the beater.
Yeah,
and finally it sounded good. And then I stopped doing it. I found I got a looper pedal.
Oh, right.
And then I just started doing all the beatbox stuff on the guitar. And I'm like, this is fun.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like carrying the shit.
That's fun. I think the one that I had for the longest time was one of those little pork pie snares, those little small ones, and it was on one of these. I just slotted onto that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. That worked good for it. And do you know Vince Flora? From Double Roads Tavern in Jupiter.
I know Double Roads Tavern. Yeah. I don't know. It's funny. I tried out there when that place first opened.
Oh, right.
They had like a tryout day.
Yeah.
And I went there and I did it, and I never got a call back.
Right, yeah.
But there was a manager there from a hotel, and he was just like, hey, man, that's really good. And he came in just for one beer, saw my set, and dropped his number. I called him, and I had one of those like really like high-paying solo gigs every Monday afternoon for I think 3 years I was there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
It was ridiculous. Like, it was almost to the point where I didn't have to play any other gigs that week.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was like the best phone number that's ever just dropped. I mean, I think he put like $10 in there and a phone number.
Yeah.
And I called it, and I was just like, I gave him some ridiculous number just to see if it would work.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Oh, wow.
Like, fuck.
Hell yeah. Damn it. I have to do it now.
Yeah. No, that was great.
It's a funny game, innit? Like it's like antiques or something. You're just worth what people perceive you're worth,
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so strange like that. Like art, But, yeah, like, at the same time, though, I always feel like there has to be some kind of precedent for how much the lowest you can get paid is. You know what I mean?
I think we all know it's the lowest is $50 an hour per man.
Yeah.
That's the lowest you can go. You go lower than that, you'd probably end up like getting in a fist fight with somebody. I don't know. Yeah. I can't do it for less than that.
No,
like as a solo musician. I mean, it's just not.
Right now, it's like, per man. I think it's pretty bad if people are getting less than 100.
Oh, for the night, for the night, like
it's got to be like 150. For me, the average and like fair amount is like 150 a man.
Yeah,
I think that's the most fair. Yeah, 150 a man.
Yeah, and like we're sort of
for women.
Me and my father-in-law more, but me and my I know, per man. Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Whatever. Man, person, I get it.
It's funny. I've had women musicians say it's $50 per man.
Right.
I'm like, okay.
Well, sometimes I feel like man means person.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it
like
does,
man,
I
human.
think that's the sad
human,
part.
Like
It's 50 per man. It's 100 per woman.
human, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what
They just didn't clarify. That's all.
Yeah. For human.
Yeah, there you go. 150 per human. But yeah, me and my
What if my dog plays with me?
Yeah.
Me and my father-in-law have been doing opened this place called Handlebars up in it used to be Judy's, that on US 1 in Tequesta. It's like a little biker bar on the side of US 1.
I usually stay away from those. Not since like 2016, I stopped going to those places.
I understand what you're saying. Loud and clear. But at the same time, anyway, this place is open and we've been doing it, and we've been trying to. One of the things that you realize is that because I've never worked on the other side of booking the music, and I know that you do that. You're a booking agent, and definitely gives you a different perspective on the whole thing. Like not massively, but it's like when you're as opposed to just kind of like trying to get as much as you can as a musician, you see it from the perspective of, well, how on earth am I going to pay you if I'm only making this much on the bar?
Yeah.
You really see the reality of it.
I've been dead set on staying at one venue in certain times, like the Kelsey Theater, or there's several bars back when I was a lot younger, and I would just be in charge of who was getting booked there, and I would just stick to one specific bar. With the Snorkel Corn Entertainment thing, I kind of wanted to stay in that, so I would consider myself more of a talent buyer for the venue.
Right.
Because I like feeling at home, like Sailfish Brewing Company. I've been there for almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
And just all our meetings are great. That brand is growing. I enjoy being there. I know everybody that works there, and I know what's best for that bar.
It's fun to play there too. I always enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, I love that place. So we've just built such a solid relationship that it opens more doors for me to do more things with that company.
Right.
And the same goes for all the other places that I've been able to stick with. I mean, so there's some venues that still haven't brought back live music, but I still talk to the owners every day.
Right.
And I'm like, how's it going? And I like keeping that solid relationship with the venue. It makes it way easier to give the musician a nicer experience while they're there, as opposed to just being like, so you're at Crab Shithole, whatever the fuck in Shithole, Florida. I don't know, like just some venue that called me and said they wanted live music, and I just send random fucking people out there. Yeah. I've never liked that aspect of like going to some place. I'm like, do you know where you're booking me? Because this place is fucking weird. And I've been to some spots like that. I've had spots like that, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, these musicians are scared. I shouldn't be sending anybody here. And there's been a couple places like that. I think Victoria Lee has called me with the funniest stories for one of these places. And if you're watching, you know what I'm talking about. And so I didn't like that, and I think COVID kind of helped me take a step back. I like the festival stuff, like booking all the music for the festivals. Yeah. Because it's a big deal. Yeah. The bands play for less, so they're more excited about it, but they still get paid almost the same amount. So everybody's a little bit more excited about it, and you're hoping the crowd is more there for the live music, and you're not just trying to fill 3 hours of time. Yeah. I almost try to give I look at it like how I look at the Gravel King shows, like we don't want to fucking play for 3 hours. And like we just did one with Ben Prestige, Newville Honkies, and String Assassins. Yeah, great. They all played within a 4-hour window, all 3 bands within a 4-hour window. And I had a blast because I'm like, all right, cool, they're done. I watched them, and now I get to see another band. Like, I wouldn't even like contributing. If we played for 3 hours, as a fan, I don't even think I'd be too happy seeing us for 3 hours. And I've said that about Gravel Kings. I say that about most. Foo Fighters. Them and Weezer are the only ones that are packing out, like, amphitheaters right now as far as live bands, I think. Like, that's the only thing I ever get in my email.
We started doing a thing just lately with Killbillies to try and mix it up a bit and I've seen Ben Prestige do a similar thing where we literally just change our instruments. And it's like we're like a different band for a bit. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And we do a thing where we I'll play the mandolin, he picks up a guitar, and James, who usually plays the banjo, plays just a 4-string bass. Mm-hmm. And we do a 5-string bass, actually. But and we do like jigs and reels and stuff. And
you got to make it interesting because when you're doing those 3-hour gigs, I feel like you only get one crowd per hour. Yeah. And it can be draining being up there playing the same instrument for 3 hours. It could be draining for the weirdo that sits there and watches you for 3 hours. Right. Not that anybody that sits there and watches a band play for 3 hours is a weirdo, but you're a fucking weirdo. Like, go to the next bar and check out the other band. But I feel like that's kind of what was getting drained with me, is just being up there by myself, or if we were to do that in Gravel Kings or even our band, like I don't know. It's a really long time to be up there, considering like some of the biggest bands on earth only play for an hour and a half.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, isn't a show, like, how long is a show actually considered? Because I think of like the Pixies, I've seen.
I saw the Pixies open up for Weezer, and I think they all played with, like, the Pixies did like an hour.
The whole show was like 2.5 hours.
Exactly. Right, yeah. And then you go to like another venue, like, or one of the 3-hour gig venues, and you go there, and you're just like. Yeah. And I feel like some people feel like they have to stay for the whole thing, and it's just like.
Yeah, I hear that. It's a funny.
It's like an intersection with no fucking stop signs at 3-hour gigs.
Yeah.
No one knows what to do.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And you know, which doesn't mean that I have anything necessarily against them. One of the things which I think is very unique about where we live is that there's so much music going on all over the place all the time. Now, is it necessarily 100% of the time the absolute best music on earth? Maybe not, but there's loads of music down here.
Oh
Just
yeah,
all over
absolutely.
the place.
There's a lot.
And it's cool. And the 3-hour gigs is one of the ways, you know, open mics and there's 3-hour gigs all over the place is ways where we can all be playing music and pretty much make it, you know, what we do for a living. Which
That's been a blessing, like a huge blessing. And
yeah. You know, I'd never like take that for granted. I think that there is, you know, I totally understand what you're saying when you're talking about like, you know, what, you know, it's a long time to watch a band play songs.
Yeah.
And if
I
you have
mean
to
that
play
for
that
more
long,
of
at
a-
some point you're going to end
yeah.
up playing like, you know, like Wagon Wheel or something because you know.
Yeah, I mean that more from a band's perspective. The only
Right.
time I've ever had fun, I think we finally kind of almost got into that 3-hour thing with Gravel Kings a couple times in Nashville.
Right.
And there it was, I mean, Nashville knows how to treat their musicians hands
Yeah.
down. I mean, we had a different crowd every hour in there.
That's so sick. Ironically, Nashville's the only place I've ever played to no one.
Really?
I played
Wow.
a gig in Nashville to 0 people.
We well, we didn't have a merch table, and somebody was just like, I think one of the guys at the club was like, "Where's your tip buckets?" I'm just like, "What?" Like, I don't know. We were so used to just packing our shit. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, getting the fuck out of there after like a 40-minute set or something. So. He put some tip buckets out. He's like, "Where's your stickers? Where's your shit?" And I was just like, "I guess it's all in the van. I just seemed like you wanted us in and out. I don't know what the fuck we're doing."
Yeah.
So like we brought it in, and I just kind of put it on the stage, and with a Sharpie and a piece of paper, I just wrote what everything cost, and people were dropping $40 in for a shirt instead of $20 for a shirt.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is.
How did you end up there? You just on tour, were you?
Our drummer Doug, his brother-in-law was working at the time, and I think he still is. He manages all the Tin Roof
Right.
locations
Yeah.
in Nashville,
Oh.
and he's very well known on that Broadway strip there.
Cool.
So he was able to just kind of talk to people and, "Hey, can they come in and play for like an hour?"
Yeah, nice. That's
And
great.
That's good.
you know, I mean, those gigs were great. Like
Yeah.
it was like it's so much exposure you get there.
Yeah.
I guess it's really hard to get on Broadway in Nashville.
Yeah.
But once you're there, I mean, you're fucking there. And I saw some incredible musicians that ended up on like late night shows, like not even
cool.
months later. Like I was
Wow.
seeing them in front of nobody
Yeah.
at some of these bars, and then months later, I'm like, holy shit, they're on Jimmy Fallon or whatever.
Oh, wow.
And it was
I've talked to a lot of musicians in the past that have gone and played in Nashville and stuff, and from what I understand, a lot of those venues are like pay to play. It's not so much, you know, you're not getting paid $500 or anything to go play that night. Like you're getting there for free, or you're having to pay for a slot.
Yeah. So the bigger venues, yes. The smaller, like the restaurant, bar venues where they just need a 3-hour band. I mean, the you have to know every song in the catalog to get
Right.
in.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, I know that I forget what they call this guy, is Joe something, and he was playing in Nashville, and every time I've gone, I've saw that fucking guy. And he just, I mean, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
He's just walking around with a big upright bass, and he plays upright bass for all the bands.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And the incredible thing that I mean, it was amazing to see the stuff that he does, and he knows like the sets for all the different bands, and he was doing all the tricks. He was climbing up on the bass. He knew
Yeah.
how to get the crowd working. Everybody knew him,
Yeah.
and he didn't like. There was not a drop of sweat. This man looks so good for his age. I'm
Wow.
just like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah.
And
that's
he's
incredible.
Mr. Nashville. Like he was just one of those guys that got there.
Yeah.
He fucking made it his thing, and that's
That's
kind of
cool.
what it takes. You got to go find that scene that's gonna accept you. And
It's so funny though. You listen to you guys talking about like 3-hour gigs and stuff like that, and with Killbillies primarily we play 3-hour gigs, and for me, I feel spoiled because I come from many bands that have been playing 4-hour gigs.
yeah,
There's a lot of venues around here that are 4-hour gigs, they're not 3-hour gigs, you know, and so
I
when
haven't done 4 hours
well,
so long.
oh man, well that's
Maybe-
all I did for the really
We
long
did it last
time.
weekend, yeah.
And then we did. I think we do it once in a while, but
Yeah.
but primarily with Killbillies it's 3 hours, and
I know he made us feel like pussies. He was like, oh, only 3 hours,
right? Well, that's the thing. It's not only are they 3 hours, but like most of our gigs are like 6 to 9, 7 to 10, or something like that. I'm used to playing like the 9 to 1 or 10 to 2 a.m. or whatever 4-hour gigs, and so these guys, I come home and tell my wife like, man, that was like easy street,
No, and it really is.
If
easy
I'm home and in bed by midnight and it was a 3-hour gig, I'm like, man, what a sweet gig.
Altogether, it really is easy street. I don't mean to bitch or anything. Like that was definitely a huge stepping stone for me.
Such a prima donna.
It was like a huge stepping stone for me to get out into some other things. But I think because it was draining for me, it was because I didn't have a band up there ever. Right. The 3-hour gig has always just been by myself.
Right.
And that can get.
That's be lonely. I do them.
I always said I was never going to get a loop pedal. I got a fucking loop pedal, and I was like, oh, "That's my friend." I named him Jimmy.
Oh. Yeah. Well, listen. On the subject of you playing music, why don't you play us some music?
Oh yeah. You want to play some music?
Let's play some music.
Okay. What do you want to play?
Let's play Opaque and Feet.
Okay. Can we play Feet first?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Let's get to it.
Sounds good.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Woke up thinking of you, tender snow. I miss all the above. Impulse of the moment to change the view. Swallow down the garlic, next involve loves the egg. Scream you all pain, is love so cruel? I try to reach you, chase you out with the sun. In the stillness I call, dream your concert down the hall. Every sense aches like a bruise. I always wanted more of you than you
Ready? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Strangers outside. So did you glow? Did you not? You vanished from my sight. You see the road, but the signs won't light up. And I feel my feet, they're already there on the tail of your kitchen floor. So maybe if I squint so hard, I'll see the sun. And the sun living on until this is gone. Another come and go. Way too familiar. Strangers outside, they won't stop knocking until you answer. Someone might come, they might carry you on your way over the shoulder. They might not. And I feel my feet, they're already there on the tail of your kitchen floor. So maybe you're thinking so hard, nothing gets done. And the sun living on since this is gone. Another come and go. Way too familiar. This is not my body. This is not my body. This is not my body. And it's not the bed of my dreams. No, it's not the bed of my dreams.
This episode's sponsored by Handlebars Bar and Grill, which is a place that my father-in-law, Peter Pinello, and me, to a much less extent, have opened up in Tequesta on US 1. The address is 19590 US 1 in Tequesta in Florida. And it's a biker bar, and it's just a lot of fun. It's all sorts of different beers on tap in there. We got music on Saturday afternoons and Sunday afternoons, and a bike night on the second Thursday of every month. This bike night that's coming up, we have the On Monday band playing, and they're great. That's Terry, who's the singer and bass player in that band, who I used to teach, and now she's gone on to have her own band, and they kill it, man. They're really good. Have you ever seen those guys?
Yeah. They actually did a live stream here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they're actually really good.
Yeah, and they fit in there really well. And yeah, so we're slowly picking up the music over there, and yeah, so we're 2 steady days a week of music, and then that bike night, which is on the second Thursday of every month. You should go and check it out. It's definitely a piece of the furniture up in Tequesta because it's been there since it used to be called Judy's, and it's it's a very colourful place. I think is the best way to describe it. I think the only way to find out exactly what I mean by that is to go and check it out. So go and head up there. We've made a lot of progress up there. We built a deck. My good friend Dave Lisa built the deck out in front there, and we have bands playing on the deck.
Yeah, place looks fantastic. Now, do you guys do? I know when we went to go see Sons of a Tradesman, there was some food and stuff going on. Do you guys do food all the time?
Yeah, there's food all the time now.
Yeah.
Yeah, lunch and dinner. I think he does breakfast as well. If you get that up there, in the morning, he'll cook you something for breakfast.
Awesome.
And he's a great chef. And we have Jamie behind the bar up there most days, and she's a blast too. It's good local place, and we would very much appreciate your support. So
awesome.
Thanks so much for playing us some songs.
No problem.
It's awesome. Would you mind telling us a little bit about what they were about?
Don't panic.
Feet is about dissociation and being outside of your body and watching yourself go through the motions of life.
Okay.
And opaque is about a breakup. Very
Right.
typical. But it's about a breakup, about imagining somebody who's no longer there anymore, but you can still feel them in your vicinity.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like the dissociation idea. So, do you know that guy Joey Calderaro? Do you know who that is? He's like a local reggae guy.
Yeah.
He had a song called Deja Vu. It was basically about the same thing, about a kind of like almost like an anxiety attack, and he dissociated from his body and wrote a song about exactly that subject. And
but it's such a bouncy song, though.
I know.
And he's like, this song is about a panic attack and anxiety.
Yeah.
But it was a fun song.
Though.
It was a fun song.
That's my modus operandi, is writing sad songs over happy chords. That's my whole
No,
thing.
that's
It's a good dichotomy.
okay. So we do have a lot in common.
Yeah, when I
Right,
listened to the
yeah,
Gravel Kings,
okay,
I was
yeah.
like, God damn it, we write exactly the same songs.
No, yeah.
Honestly.
All those songs are fucking miserable. But people are like, I love that song. It's so happy. I'm like, you don't even know the half of it.
Ben sends me a text today. He's like, are you listening to Gravel Kings? Yeah. He goes, they sound just like us.
And it's not even actually one of the things I was going to ask you is, when we come to record, I'd be really interested in sending you some stuff and having you on as like a bit of a production consultant because I really liked the sound of it.
Yeah, for
it
sure.
I
sounded
want the
great.
chords happier, and I want you sadder, Ben.
So expect some emails with tunes
All right.
in it.
I got no problem with that.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. So the next thing is we're going to take a look at your pedal board.
Oh, shit.
Hey.
Let's have a look at it. Can you tell us a little bit about it, please, Zack?
Okay. The Aftermath is just the spaciest, weirdest thing. And this is a little disheveled, what we got up here now. But the Aftermath added the space that I really needed. I would say the Ocean's 11 is my signature Sandman Sleeps sound.
Okay.
If I didn't have that pedal, I don't think our band would sound the same.
You'd be playing drums, right?
Yeah, I'd be playing drums.
I'd
be gone.
What is it? Reverb? What does it do?
It's a reverb, but there's this organy kind of sounds that
Cool.
there's a setting on. I don't fuck with the settings on any of this shit. Once I find the pedal and I find the sound I'm looking for, it just stays there. And if I got to extend the pedal board because I want another sound, then I got to extend the pedal board and add another pedal.
I can relate to that.
Like I like hitting one button. I don't like shows. I don't like bending down and trying to have to fuck with the settings.
Sure.
That pedal does that one thing and that's over. It's done. I don't fucking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm saying the F word a lot right
there
now.
with you.
That's okay.
I hope
That's right. We
certainly hope
censor, so the show will just be like beep for like an hour.
that's
fine.
awesome.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I hope no one gives a fuck.
Nice.
What's this one? What's that
My
one?
kids
at
are
the
going
top
to listen
there?
to
The
this.
synthesizer,
The one with the little the
the
halo.
Holy Grail. I had that for a while, and then I actually just recently took that off.
Right.
I'm playing out of an orange twin speaker cab now, so
Right.
or a combo amp. So I like the reverb that came with that a lot more. So that's just sitting in my garage. Maybe it'll come out one day again.
Right.
But I use that a lot for my solo shows. And I just kind of got rid of it since I've been with Sandman Sleeps because it has no place there now.
Gotcha. Is when you use the synthesizer, is it like do you use that for leads? What do you do with it?
I have one song that we ended up using it on the album. And I got it a little late in the writing process for my guitar parts for the album, so
Yeah.
I think it really only ends up on one song throughout like our whole set.
Right.
I think I mainly got it for the second album, and I didn't know what was going to come of that. But I knew it was probably going to be a lot weirder than the first one. So
Probably need a synthesizer.
yeah. So that thing just has so much stuff on it. It sucks because I was just telling you guys I like to just set them to one setting. So I feel like I'm going to need 20 of those because there's a lot of really cool settings on that. That thing is really weird.
I've never messed around with one of those.
I hadn't either, and Aaron convinced me to get it.
I
didn't even want
bass
it.
version of that one, the boss synth, bass synth, and it was same thing, man. Like it was just too many settings, and I ended up getting rid of it because it was like sensory overload.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's the 80s.
I couldn't handle it. It was too much.
It's all of the 80s in one pedal.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Is that a tube screamer?
Yes,
like a little
that's
mini
the mini tube screamer.
Everyone has a tube screamer.
Everyone's got to have a
got
tube
one.
screamer. Actually, you just got a version of the tube screamer.
Did you get that new white one?
No. She's got one of the like mid or early 2000 ones that we just found in the garage.
It doesn't work quite right.
It doesn't work quite right, but
I
you
need
like
to-
the sound
I do like the
because
sound.
everybody
It's a nice
likes a
tone.
tube screamer.
Very nice tone.
Yeah. What's that Spark thing?
That I only really use. So I've got like a dirty clean, and that's pretty much how I run everything for the entire set.
Yeah.
The distortion comes on sometimes. Usually the Spark follows if there's some sort of lead or I'm trying to get a lot of feedback.
Okay. So that's just the distortion pedal.
Yeah.
Right. Gotcha. And then that do you use that as an expression pedal or a wah?
The which one?
That on the end there, is that a wah?
That's the wah. Okay, so the wah pedal. I don't know, and I think now's the best time to ask Christina. Do you guys like when I use that thing?
You barely use it.
I really only use it on one song.
The Fellini?
Yeah, I think that's more of like my warm up if I want to fuck around.
Right.
I did a lot of master classes on so many different things, from smoking ribs to a lot of film stuff to guitar stuff during COVID.
There was a lot of like ribs footage. on social media.
I was cooking a lot of I was cooking a lot of pork.
Right.
But I took Tom Morello's master class.
Oh, cool.
And I had a blast with everything. And after I took it, I didn't have the wah pedal when I took it, so I was just like,
Better get
and
one.
I went out and got one.
I didn't know you actually took the class. That's great.
Yeah, I took the
That's
class.
why you guys are talking about it.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
great.
And it was just really interesting. So I got a wah pedal, and that's my kind of warm up fuck around pedal. We don't use it too much in the band, but it's there.
I think it was the first pedal I got when I was a teenager. I was obsessed with Jimi Hendrix, and
Yeah.
yeah. And, and then you wear out the pot thing, and it starts going.
It's starting. Yeah, I've already fucked that thing up. I mean, I obviously learned a lot of Rage songs through that class, like, because he's like, I'm like, it's that easy, huh? You just need the wah pedal and yeah. So I'm just sitting there beating the fuck out of the thing, and so it's probably due for some cleaning or some sort of repair.
Oh, it's all right then. So I tell you what, it's been a pleasure. I was driving around today listening to the albeit limited Sandman Sleeps kind of stuff on Spotify, and I was really looking forward to today because I was just really loving it. It reminds me a lot of the indie that I like, and it reminds me a lot of the Smiths and stuff like that.
Yeah, for
and,
sure.
And I just thought it was awesome. And thanks so much for coming on. It's been a privilege to listen to you play and have a chat.
When can we expect an album?
We're saying the next couple years. I was kidding. No, we're almost done. We've been recording at Thunderhouse Sound with Nick, and he's
Right.
amazing there.
Where is that?
It's in Fort Pierce,
Yeah.
right by the home patio. That's how I right now.
Home patio furniture store.
That's how we get this big yellow old vintage sign.
Yeah.
No, it's right on US 1 up in Fort Pierce.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no. Probably August or September.
All
I
right,
think our
awesome.
last
For the
session
album.
is Sunday.
Yes.
Right.
This Sunday. And,
So
spectacular.
we're almost done tracking. So
then we send it off to Mr. James Wisner.
Right.
yeah.
And then it goes up to Andy Van Diet in New York to be mastered. And
Yeah.
then, I don't know, we're going to shop it and for a little bit and see if anyone gives a fuck shit about it. I couldn't figure out what
See
word
what
to use.
happens.
So I used
Both.
fuck shit.
Both. I would.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
shit. So we're going to see if anyone cares. And if they don't, we're just going to put it out ourselves. And
Yeah.
it'll probably be better that way. I'm just...
Well, I mean, who knows? I got to tell you
Whatever
that
happens, happens.
it's what it's great music. So you just don't know, do you? I mean, you've got all the, you've got a decent sort of deck there. You just got to sort of play it and see what happens. You know?
Yeah. I think we're gonna over the next year. Once that album's coming out, I think we're gonna try to do some traveling, get on
Right.
some planes and fly to
Yeah.
some cities and
Nice.
just kind of do one of those things where we're in a city for like a couple days and see what shows we can get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of get. I don't know. I did that van thing for a while.
Yeah.
And I think you've done that a little bit too.
I never toured.
No.
No, I never toured.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Um,
See, that's one
it
thing.
is
A
terrible.
lot of gas station food, and you get
Yeah.
barely.
I mean, I'd
anything.
love to do a Florida one, but I really just
Yeah.
want to like hook up with a bunch of really cool bands in Chicago, a lot of really cool bands in different
Hell
parts
yeah.
of New York, and just like fly there and be like, hey, can we borrow your shit for the night? We got our guitars.
Yeah.
Like, let's just fucking play whatever show you got and do things that way and cut out all the crap. That
Sure.
whole driving
Yeah.
thing is
It's a lot.
only
know,
because
I
we
used
live
to
in
li-
Florida.
I used to
It's
like
like
it
a
when I
long
was
dick we got to drive out of.
when I was in my 20s. I was
really
all
is.
about it. I just loved the adventure side of it. I was really enjoyed being on tour. Just kind of felt so freeing. Like, you just different city every night. You didn't have to tidy up any of the messes you made wherever you went.
Yeah.
And
We,
I think it definitely suited what I was like in my 20s. But
Where did you tour? Like, and that's my question. I'm not trying to extend the show or anything.
No, whatever. it's fine.
When you toured in your 20s, where were you starting the tour from?
England, but we'd go like
That's
we'd just go around.
Everything's
Europe.
smaller there, so you can get the stuff quicker.
yeah.
You know?
No, my
Yeah.
my biggest point, and I think this is why
it's
I've
just
always hated
Florida.
Florida, is driving out.
Oh,
It
it's
just
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
tour doesn't really start until 4 days after it starts, and then you've got to explain that to significant others, parents
Yeah.
that are worried, your fucking day job.
There's a
like,
place
all
called
that shit.
There's a
and it's
place
just
called
like,
Plymouth
fuck,
in
man.
England, right? Where it's a band like a couple of bands of my friends were from, and it's like in terms of awkwardness, it's like the Florida of England. All bands from Plymouth, they spend hours just getting out of Plymouth.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they can start doing the touring. But we were touring we were coming from Manchester, and there's lots of places around Manchester, so it wasn't too bad. But we by the end we found our time ourselves going to London so much that after I left the band, pretty much all the members they carried on going. Sonic Boom 6 is still a thing, and they the two kind of founder members ended up just moving to London. Everything in England's concentric around London, pretty much. It's just like
Downside of flying though is gear. Justin and I with the Nirvana tribute, we did a show in New York once that I mean we basically they told us they had a whole back line and drums and everything, and then when we got there, Jay, our drummer, he's like, "Where's the kit?" And the guy's like pointing at some like trash pile in the corner,
shit.
and it was literally like a kick, a snare, one tom, and the head was broken, so he had to turn it over and play the bottom side of the tom.
Damn.
The kick had no backside to it, and then there was no rug or anything, and we're like, well, how do you keep it from sliding around? And he grabs a cinder block and throws it into the back of the drum, like
classic.
that. Yeah, like that was the drum set. So that's the
Oh my
downside
God.
of flying somewhere is they tell you they have
Right.
gear, then you get there and go,
See that?
oh,
I've had the
shit."
opposite. I've had the opposite. Every time we've played in New York, we're just like, why do we bring any of our shit?
Right.
Like every venue that we've gone into has
Yeah.
been like got like just better shit than we had.
Yeah.
Or I would say the same about Nashville. I can't say too much about any of the other big cities in
Also,
the United States. but
driving to New York is stressful. Sitting in a van on the Brooklyn Bridge in like the summer heat or whatever. It's just
yeah.
like,
Also,
you
you
know,
have to
Yeah.
you have to pay the van to get parked.
Yeah.
Unless you want to stay with it all night. I don't know. You just experienced that.
What,
Yeah,
New
you
York?
guys just went up to
Oh
New York.
yeah.
It's
Yeah, we lived there for a while, so
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's
Well, you just did the
something
drive
nice.
last week,
Oh,
and
the
that's
drive,
the
yeah,
drive
yeah, yeah.
alone
No, I
is
feel you.
like.
I've
Yeah.
done it a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
of times.
The
It's
drive
a beast
is
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
It is.
a broken snare drum or
Yeah.
something would be easier to work with than
And then the drive.
than
to
the
New
drive.
Yeah.
But that's just how I am. I'm also getting old.
York. I feel you on that one.
Let's do our. We're gonna do our shameless Killbillies plug now.
Yeah.
Friday at the Brewhouse Gallery.
Yep. Cool place.
And then Saturday we're playing O'Shea's. And by the way, if anybody's listening, it was my wife's birthday yesterday, and we're celebrating her birthday on Saturday.
Happy birthday,
She's
Kelly.
turning 29.
Big 2-9.
For those that are listening.
Yeah.
Anyways, and you guys don't have anything coming up, but Christina, you are doing a duo on the 10th at
Yes.
Crafted Keg, and it's a duo with your sister Alex.
Yeah.
So you guys just call that Chris and Alex, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Chris
Alright.
and Alex.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
thank
gonna-
you.
And is that one of those 3-hour gigs that we were bitching about?
It's a 3-hour.
Well, there you go. Well, there you go. Woohoo! All right, yeah. Let's hear it for the 3-hour gig.
You know, Hector is obsessed with 80s music, so we need to come and watch you play.
Oh,
That'd be
100%.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then next week we have Daniel Wander on the show.
Yeah, he's an amazing musician, DJ. You know, he has his own like printing and like media company, and he's just sort of an all-round like interesting guy, entrepreneur. I've known him for years. He used to be in Space Coast Ghost when they were a thing.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
that guy?
Yeah.
He's cool. And he's
I don't know him personally, but
Right,
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
his actor these days is called Beat Thief, and he's been doing a lot of stuff, getting on festivals and things. He's got like a kind of like a crew of like some regular people that rap on his tunes, and he's really sort of interesting fella. I can't wait to see
Awesome.
what he brings to the table when it comes to his live performance as well. That's going to be really interesting. I haven't spoken to him about that, but I think we're going to get some technology. Looking forward to it.
Well, it was a pleasure having you guys on here.
Thanks for having us.
We
So much for
will
having us.
we will put all the links for your bands, both the duo and Sandman Sleeps. And Gravel Kings, are they active enough for?
We're gonna. I think we're gonna try to do a show this year.
Okay, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and put some links in there, man.
Yeah,
man.
we're hanging out.
yeah, and all-
You should let us play with you guys.
Yeah,
We'd
man.
be a good fit together.
Why don't we do a split show?
Yeah.
That
I
works
feel like
for
that'd
us,
probably
man.
be a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
Ben
go.
will be happy. It's an hour and a half then.
Exactly.
And I'll make sure to put snorkel. I can't even pronounce it. Snorkel corn. It's like a fucking tongue twister.
Snorkel corn.
That. We'll put links for that and Parklet Films, your new endeavor. We'll throw a
I'm
link
just-
on there as
I'm
well.
just filming shit now. So
Yeah.
if you need
So you're shooting porn, is what I'm hearing.
yeah, I'm shooting.
Okay.
It's funny actually. I ran into a real estate couple. They saw me with my camera at the last event that I filmed, and I only had a Snorkel Corn business card on me. So I handed it to him because he needed my contact information. And as I was handing it to him, I said, "Hey, yeah, my company's called Snorkel Corn," because I had not come up with a company name for my film stuff yet. And he's just like, "Oh man." So like, he thought I said porn.
Oh god.
And he's just like, "So what's that like?" And I was like,
Snorkel
"What?"
porn.
And he's like, "Shooting porn." And I was just
Oh
like,
my
"I don't do
God.
that."
That's hilarious.
Where did you get that from? And he's like, "Oh, it's a corn. I see the card now."
Oh my God.
His wife looked at me in disgust, and I never got a call back. I don't think she heard the corn part. I don't know.
Well, on that note, thank you very much, guys.
Yeah,
we
thanks
appreciate
so much
it.
for having me.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it was
thanks.
awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just said thanks so much for having me.
I know. I heard that. I wasn't going to say anything, and I was just like, "Yeah, now
I
get
know,
the fuck
that's-
out of here."